Good morning.
Mhm.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Martin Luther King Day.
Yes.
I think a lot of schools are out, if not all. I'm not really sure, but I know ours are
So,
here. And yeah, it's a good Monday morning.
no, for sure it is. It's nice on a holiday. We were going to take this week off as we normally do when holidays kind of fall on Monday so we can get a chance to take our recharge for the weekend. I think we had seen in a lot of different groups topics coming up. It seems, even though this isn't new, this happened in November.
Yes.
The NAR changes. And I just see so much craziness, misinformation, and just in different groups across Facebook in general. And I thought this was a good topic, even though it's completely different than anything we normally do. It's a hot topic for sure. So we decided we're going to take this on because there is so much crazy going on. And with it being Martin Luther King Day, and this week is going to be full of an emotional roller coaster in itself. So what better time to take
Yeah.
on this topic?
Yeah, no, for
Into
sure,
it.
for sure. I think you're right, because we did talk about taking the day off, and then when we just thought about, this whole the NAR change to realtors using hate speech, and it being Martin Luther King Day, it seemed like the perfect day to have this conversation, I guess is what we'll call it. So let me just give a brief background to what NAR is and how that affects those of us who are members of the Space Coast Association of Realtors. So when you get a real estate license, you are a real estate agent, and you're licensed with your state. And then you can make the decision to join the board of realtors and become a realtor. So that with that, you would join the National Association of Realtors. Below that, you would join the association in your state. So for us, it's the Florida Association of Realtors. And then you would join your local board or other boards within your state, say. So, I might be a member of the Space Coast Association of Realtors, but I could also be a member of Orlando, or
I think we belong to like 5 different
yeah.
boards.
So we belong to the beaches, which is down in Fort Lauderdale area, and Indian River, and Orlando, and I believe Daytona. Yeah. So the purpose of the National Association of Realtors is it's a private organization, and you join it, and for many different reasons, but one of the big reasons is it brings a level of professionalism to the industry. And when you join, you subscribe to what's called the Code of Ethics. And with the Code of Ethics, you subscribe to follow what those are. And I should know this off the top of my head, but I think there's 17 of them that you follow, and some of them have to do with duties to the public. Some have to do with duties to your fellow realtors. So it just depends, and they're all just important so that we bring a level of professionalism to the.
And as a realtor, you have to do continuing ed, and even me. So I'm not a realtor because I haven't sold, but I'm in. I have an active real estate license that's kind of parked in our referral group. So I don't have to take the Code of Ethics because I'm not a realtor member of NAR, but I do have to still do continuing ed. But you guys have, every 2 years you have to stay up to date with Code of Ethics.
With Code of Ethics, and yes, so that we know what's going on and that we're following the Code of Ethics. And I, as do many of the other agents that I know, we take this seriously. It's an important part of what we do, and it makes sure that we are, so to speak, doing the right thing. So
by everybody, and that's the difference. An owner does not have to follow the same rules as a realtor does. I know I ran into the issues that we're going to talk about today when I was doing property management. That was probably when I would run into these issues nonstop. I mean, that was, for the most part, my most troubling is trying to explain this to an owner, like who I can rent to, who I can't. It's like, no, here's the form you agreed to. As long as they, it is in black and white. As long as they meet all of this criteria, you're going to rent to them. Because some owners may be like, well, I don't want, 3 couples in a 3-bedroom. It's like,
right. That's
I
funny.
don't want students, or, I don't want them if they're young, and, I don't want kids. It's like, stop right there. And we would have to know when it was time to let somebody go, because it's like, no, this is what we signed, this is what we agreed on. You can't
pick and choose. Well, so fair housing, there's the Fair Housing Act, and Fair Housing Act, whether you're a realtor or who's a real estate agent, or prohibits discrimination in housing because of race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, disability, sexual orientation, and gender identity. So that is the Fair Housing Act that prohibits us from discrimination. So then you take that a step further, and what NAR did was they added to Article 10, and it's the Standards of Practice 10-5, and I'm just trying to find it here in all of my notes. That already says that we have to follow the Fair Housing Act. And then what they did was they added to it that it also applies to us in our personal lives. And really what they mean by personal lives is things that you're posting on Facebook, social media, even necessarily out in the public. And
I think that's where the misconception is they're saying that NAR is taking away the free speech. And that's where in these groups, it's almost like they just get fueled by this happening. Whereas in our policy manual,
our company policy manual,
it's more about protecting us as a whole.
Right.
For example, like if we have an agent that's going to post something that is, either negative towards a protected class, or maybe, a violent or something, something that's hateful, they're not, it may be fun for them. It may be how they feel, which is their prerogative. However, like in their real life, one, as a realtor, they can't not work with somebody or move you just can't. You can't advertise based on those protected classes, and you don't want to spew hate on anything like that either. If they do it, it actually, all they have to do is click on that person and see they work with us. And now we're all getting 1,000 phone calls from every one of our agents. Like, what is going on? I just had a client who happened to see XYZ. Or I know in the beginning when we started this, a lot of agents did not understand the Facebook newsfeed. They thought if they saw it, all their friends were going to see this post as well. They didn't understand everybody has a unique feed. So I remember getting a lot of those, I don't want so-and-so seeing, like, that's so bad. That's not how I feel. And we used to get a lot of that. So which is why I think we had to add to the policy. Like, you're not just putting this out for you. You're representing us. And even though you're an independent contractor, people can see that you work for our company. Mm-hmm. And then you have the brand and you have NAR. So it's, it's a trickle down effect, a domino effect. And I saw so much of this happening over the summer. So that is.
Yeah. And so it's really about that. I mean, it's not, first of all, NAR is a private organization. So it does not, they can make rules that are, how do you say, for membership. In other words, if you are going to be a member, you have to agree to these rules. And then if you don't agree with them, you don't have to be a member. Here's the thing. If you have to think twice about something that you're putting on Facebook and not sure whether it's hate speech or not, that's probably a good indication that you shouldn't post it on Facebook. But like you were saying, people, whatever it is, even if let's not even talk about real estate or realtors, but say somebody in a different industry does something that is against one of the protected classes, your just immediate knee-jerk reaction is to look at that person and then look at the organization of which they're a part of and wonder if the whole organization has those same views. So
we saw that with multiple brands this summer.
Yeah.
Multiple. And what is sad is, like, I saw there was one, he had like this, I don't know, machine gun, some AR thing, and it was really hateful when all of this was going on. Well, his parents own the brokerage that completely, because they completely got bashed, and it went to the upper brand, and the amount of social being posted negative, calling this brand out for a week, and it was nonstop. It completely cluttered. It was heartbreaking. And we saw this repeatedly. It could be airlines. It was brokerages, within real estate. It was, maybe the Air Force or something. I mean, it was just nonstop. It's not just what that individual posted and going against them, because they probably hid their profile when they realized, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
It went all the way up.
Yeah. And it was, and it was nonstop. And it was this company is the worst, and this company is horrible. And, this is somebody who is an agent in the Northeast. Because kind of, when you think about it, everything most of us post on our Facebook is intertwining our personal lives with our business lives. And I don't know if this was the case, because I can't remember, and it doesn't matter. But now add in, are you wearing a polo shirt with your company logo on it, or a polo shirt with a realtor logo on it? It's just, and these are not, where NAR is not picking and choosing. They are using the protected classes in the Fair Housing Act. That's it. And so, as with anything with the Code of Ethics, just so you all know, someone then has to file an ethics complaint, whether it's a member of the public or another agent, or sometimes what's called the grievance committee, they could file the complaint. But they're not, I don't know that anybody's looking for this to come and get you. But it's a way to protect all of us as an industry from people that may say things or do things that are, and this is the big thing, are against the Fair Housing Act. And because we're in housing, it pertains to us, and you're right, it is heartbreaking. I remember that particular incident over the summer. The Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, my phone was blowing up, with people saying, oh my gosh, did you see this?
Right. No, and it's hard. It's saddening, and I cringe at the thought, because, I do the social media management on the office level. If that were to happen to us, and I know it was a big topic among, we have like a group of like trainers and people who do manage the social for the office. We were struggling with what kind of content do we post out because of, the pandemic and everything going on. We had to completely change the direction of our message. But this topic came up, and it's like, how do we stop that? The agents are independent contractors. We can't control what they post on there. But it's basically the same as what NAR is doing. And it's really, for me, it's protecting us as a whole. So we don't have that car salesman mentality. And really, we have to abide by the Code of Ethics anyway. So why would we be posting publicly something against and a hate speech or violence towards one of these protected classes? Like, why would somebody do that? I have no idea, but I guess it happens. Right. And I think NAR is just trying to protect us as like an industry to make sure that that doesn't happen. So I don't think it's our free speech. I think it's more of just protecting us as a whole. Like, hey, don't do that. That'd be crazy.
Right. Sorry, I'm getting an important text. Yeah, I remember years ago, and it may be around the time that that our policy was enacted about social media, we have a private Facebook group for the agents in our office. And we had a couple people who posted a lot of stuff that was very polarizing, is the best way I know how to say it. And I just remember thinking, when people see that and they see that this person works for whatever, in my case, Remax Elite, does that affect all of us? And I remember posting in our private Facebook group, I just said, and this is before I was in management here, I was just an agent in the office. And I just said, before you post things on Facebook, just take a step back, think about what you're posting, and think about how it will affect all of us. Because when people see you, Remax Elite, the general public doesn't understand that we are all independent contractors. So, just because I'm an agent there doesn't mean that my views are the company's views, or doesn't mean the company's views are my views, but it's the way the general public sees it. And I remember saying, before you post something, just step back for a minute, take a look at it, and see if you think it's something that could do damage to your business and or the business of the rest of us. And I even say that all the time with agents, not necessarily even about this, right? Not even about hate speech or anything like that. But even if you're negotiating a contract and you are having a hard time with the other agent, you guys are going back and forth via text, or you're going back and forth via email. Sometimes I'll just say, step away. You don't have to answer the question or the whatever you took to be them being negative towards you now. Take an hour, think about it, and then come back and post or respond or talk. It's just a matter of thinking about it, so that the foot that you're putting forward out to the general public is a good one.
No, I see that a lot, whether it be in the groups or even public facing, is screenshotting text with other agents.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's kind of a no-no as well. It kind of makes me cringe, but I think, it is so easy just to post something or to vent or, something like that. Or if you've been out and sometimes people get liquid courage and it makes them do stuff that they wouldn't normally do. I don't know, but it's, please stop, cringe.
Right. And, so when you think about, you did so many great posts for today for Martin Luther King. I wish I could pull some up right now. I'm going to try, but of course, I'm not ready. Or maybe some of the ones, but some of the great quotes. Yes, thank you.
Let's see. I can pull that up really quick because I have them all saved. I did have one that was going to be my kind of words of the week. I had something different. I'm like, you know what? Gosh, that was kind of my to-do was this weekend was, coming up with quotes. And
I just found them. Okay.
You found them all?
In the creative group. So here's one. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? I think for most of us, that's the reason why we're in this business, because we enjoy and like doing things for others, and seeing the results of it. Especially when you have somebody who's stressed out about a purchase or whatever. Or here's another, be the peace you wish to see in the world.
So I have a bunch. Let me move this over here. This one was I love this one. This one's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, that was like my, every year I post one. That was my one 2 years ago. Yeah.
There's so many good ones. And I love, what are you doing for others?
And I remember when we went to DC for the Broker Owner Conference, was that a year and a half ago or 2.5 ago? I can't remember now.
It feels like a lifetime ago.
Right. And we went on the Monuments at Night tour. If you have never done the Monuments at Night tour in DC,
yeah,
it is a do not miss, let me tell you. And when we got to the Martin Luther King Memorial and they had all of the quotes as you're leading up to it, I mean, it is so
Oh, I just got goosies.
I know. It's so
remembering that.
impactful. We took so many pictures of that, of the different quotes, because they're etched into the stone, and it's just really, really impactful. There is so many quotes. Here, the ultimate measure of man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy.
That really hit me with everything going on, right? I mean, so many of these, it's funny when you look at these year after year, they have such different meaning. And these,
yes,
when I was just going through some of my favorites, they really had a different meaning right now than they did last year or any previous. I mean, I think just like anytime you do training, you always grab different nuggets, but going through all of these quotes, you know, over the weekend really resonated in different ways. This one's always one of my favorites, and it's that progress, not perfection. You know, with everything that we've tried to do and the growth that we try to do, this is something that I always kind of fall back to.
Yep.
This one in the staircase one is
Yep.
just to keep moving. You know, don't look back. You're not going that way, and just no matter what. I love this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really why we decided to just have this chat today about hate speech, specifically when it comes to protected classes, but you know, even when it comes to non-protected classes, just in general. I think positivity is the key. The more positive you are, the better, and everything can put yeah, that's a good one too. Everything can have a positive spin to it, you know. I always even when there's like an issue going on with either, you know, an agent with another agent, or with a contract, or with a deal, it's like I always listen to the story, and I always kind of make myself laugh a little bit, because it sort of lightens the load of whatever's going on, and it gives me the opportunity to think, how can I put a positive spin on it, or change the trajectory of that conversation so that it becomes a positive one, not a you won't believe what this agent said to me, you know, and it's like, well, let's look at maybe what you said to them too, you know, or whatever, you know.
Right. I mean, I think that the moral ground is one, NAR's not taking away our free speech. Two, we should not be spewing hatred all over your social anyway. It's not going to do anybody any good. You know, I try to use the platforms. I always, you know, the 3 Ps is be passionate, be positive, and be professional. I think you're going to get more out of social if you are that way. If you're an energy sucking vampire, social may not be the platform for you. And with everything going on right now, I know a lot of people have taken a step back. You know, it's like, don't watch the news. I mean, stay off of social, whatever it is you need to do to keep that inner peace.
Yep.
By all means, do it. It's so easy to get caught up in all these different conversations, and you know, we get so emotional and fueled. Sometimes we forget, like, this is all public facing. Maybe it's not what you want to be engaged with. All it takes is a screenshot, and it could, you know, it can destroy your reputation.
I mean, we even say that with the kids, like the kids, you know, just in high school or in college, things that you're posting on social will haunt you forever. You know, could prevent you from getting a job, you know. And so I think just overall, as a rule of thumb, it's good to just be mindful of what you're posting.
Yes. You know? No, absolutely. What are action steps? I mean, I think we have a lot of action steps.
Well, so here, it's not easy. It's not always necessary to make big changes in your life. Sometimes small changes can make a big difference. Is there a change that you need to make in your life for 2021?
And then I just think, you know, the words of the week, I think we just went through a bunch of different ones. I mean, my favorite was, this darkness can't drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And hate can't drive out hate. Only love can do that. And just really be mindful, especially this week and moving forward. If you need to take a step back, take a step back, but just be cautious. And, you know, on social can be your worst enemy sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So
I hope it. And we have some great stuff coming up the rest of the week. So we're finally, all the audio tracks have been uploaded for podcasting, so you can subscribe. I know it's already live on Spotify. It's been submitted to all the others, but it's MondayMorningWakeUpCall.com. Gives you the links. I know I saw Spotify was live this morning, so all of the audio tracks are on there. I personally think it's way more fun watching us, but we do know that
Right?
a lot of people like the podcast. I don't know how that would sound. I could never listen to myself ever.
Oh, I know. It's horrifying. It's like, oh, is that really what I sound like? Whew.
But until next week, I know we've got some like a 911 strategy and some other stuff off the top of my head. I cannot remember.
Mhm.
But we hope you have a fantastic week. Remember some of these quotes and to be mindful. And I guess until next week, wake up, kick ass, and repeat.